Hey guys, in this video we are going to look into a tool that is called Mongoose. Well, when we are using a MongoDB library, we are using for the CRUD operation. But for using other functionality like validation, typecasting is a bit difficult in this. So we are using a new library that is called Mongoose. Mongoose is a NPM library that is used for validation, typecasting, and also the other CRUD operation that we perform into it. So let's start with our new project. Let's say we are going to create a new project name called Mongoose Demo. We go into new project, Mongoose Demo. Now we are going to initialize the npm init by using npm init-y. After that, we are going to go to this project by using code space start. Now, in this project, we are going to initialize how are we going to start the script. So for production purpose, we are using Node app, and for dev purpose, we are going to use NodeMon app. Now, let's create a new file. Let's call app.js. Now here again, we are going to install new libraries. First, we are going to install NodeMon library. For installing it, npm install dash dash save dash dev NodeMon. Now we are going to install npm express and mongoose. For installing it, we are going to use npm -i -express space mongoose. In the meantime, we are going to use all the configuration that is needed here. Let's say mconst express is equal to require express, and we are going to use the app that is going to get required from express as a function, and we are going to listen to a port number, let's say 3000. Now for using Mongoose into our project, we are going to create a new folder, let's say utils. In this folder, we are going to create a new file, let's say db.js. In this file, we are going to create a new const mongoose, and we are going to require it from mongoose. After requiring it, we are going to connect our MongoDB to the current project. So for connecting it, we are using connect function that we have used in the MongoDB driver. So we are going to require the server, means we are going to require the connection string that is here. Now let's copy it from here, and we are going to paste it into the connect function. In here, we are going to replace the password that is given here and pasting it into the password field. After pasting it, we are going to use options that is given here, like use unified topology to true and use new URL parser to true. After that, it's using, if we are using the then function here, like it returns a promise, and if we use then, it will give the successful result, and if it is error, it will give an error. Now for starting this file, we are going to use this file using requiring it from the file, using this thing, using required dot slash utils slash db. And now if we run this project by using npm run dev, we can see that the connection is established. Now we are going to use the Mongoose in our file. So we are going to remove this one because there is no need of it. Now we are going to create the model of a user. So for creating a model, we are going to use a term that's called schema. So for using a schema, we are going to require it from the Mongoose. So let's say schema const schema mongoose dot schema. After that, we are going to create a new schema of user. So for creating it, we are going to use any user schema variable, and after that we are going to construct or use new operator and using the schema, and here we are going to define the user schema. So what are the information needed in the user schema? So let's say we are using name, so which type it will be? It will be a type of a string, so we are using a string, and it's required, so we are using a required property of it, it's a boolean, so we are going to use true. And if there is any like spaces before the name or after the name, we are going to trim it, so it give a trim properties, so we are going to using trim is to true. And after that, we are going to create a new document, let's say as, and in the as we are going to deliver like what type is it, so it's a type of number, and it's also required into our project. So after that, we are also like, that's it. Now it's a model, so for creating a new model, we are going to use const product user, and we are going to create a new model. For creating a new model, we are going to use mongoose dot model, and we can give any name that's a string, so let's say user, and in here we are going to provide a schema that we have used, so we are going to use user schema. Now we are going to instantiate a new user into our project. So for instantiating in the new user, we are going to use a new user one, and after that we are going to use new creator constructor, and then we are going to use new user, and in here we are going to perform. Now let's say we have provided a new name, let's say John Doe, and its age is, let's say 21. After this, we are going to save it. For saving it, we are going to use user.save, that is given by the Mongoose, and it's a promise, so we are going to use 10, and after that we can see that if it is saved or not using console.log res. And if it's an error, then we can perform an error operation, and after that we can see what's an error there. Now here you can see that it gives the user, and it automatically gives the ID and the name and the age and the version of the document, that is 0. Now if we see into our project, we will see that it has been saved into our MongoDB. So for seeing, we can go to the collection, and here you will see that the user has been saved, and the user collection name is also given to it. So now we are going to see how can we provide the validation here. So if we want to validate that the age will be like only greater than 18, or let's say we validate that the age will not be less than 0, or it's not a negative. So for doing this, we can use a method or a function called validate into it. And in this, if we provide like if value is less than 0, it will throw an error. So for throwing the error, we can use throw new error, and let's say age must not be less negative. So if we save it, no, first we have to change the value of it. So let's say if I write like -20, and now if I save it, you will see that it gives an error that say age must not be negative. So Mongoose can be used for performing like any validation that we require. Now if we add one more property, let's say email. So how can we check that an email is right or wrong? So it will be a string, and it's also required into our Java collection. And for validation purpose, there is a npm library. It's called validator. So we are going to install it. For installing npm I validator. So in the meantime, we are going to use the how can we, like we can see here, like if we don't display or don't initialize age in here, and if we save it, you will see it also gives an error here. It says that age is required and part age is required, and the message it's an error. So now we are going to use a new library called validator, and in here we are going to require it from validator. Now in here we are going to use validate function and the value that we provide, and in here if validator dot is email value, it will throw an error. Let's say it should be an email, but validator dot is email, if it is right, it will perform a true. So in here we are going to use not operator. So now if we provide like age can be 20, and if we provide like email to be john@gmail.com, and if we save it, now we can see that it should be an email, so it gives an error. So that's how we can use that's how can we use the Mongoose library into our folder. So thank you.